I don't think. Oh,
Oh, I got it. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by Because Bitcoin. Welcome, guys. Welcome. We got a brand new week. It is the beginning of March. I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Dr. Will's Outlook and Jackus. Coming off the back of a great weekend in ETH Denver with some of my teammates, I got to say I had a blast. Seeing those guys and getting to meet a few more people. It's always cool when you're able to put a name to a face, right? Especially when you're dealing with a lot of anons on Twitter, right? It was great to see my teammates, like I said, and of course, to meet some of some community members, some devs, and pretty much everything in between over the last few days. But all that to say, we got a great backdrop to start this week. Bitcoin is edging right on all-time highs. Are we going to get there today? Are we going to get there this week? It looks like we could potentially smash through them, right, guys? But real quickly, before we start talking about what we are expecting to happen next, before we start cooking, sharing that big juicy alpha, we always appreciate when you guys smash that like button before we get started. And Max and Tucker aren't here. They're traveling home today, right? I know they would love to be here and share some charts. I'm sure you guys have been following Max's Twitter. He's been crushing the Pepe trade. Honestly, everybody on the team has been absolutely crushing these markets here over the last few weeks. But Max isn't here to bug you. I will bug you about the like button today. We're almost at all-time highs, guys. I mean, if there's not a reason to smash the like button, then what other reason is there? But we always appreciate when you guys engage and, of course, enjoy our content. But let's talk about markets. It is a Monday. We are coming off the back of a great weekend. Like I said, we got a great backdrop today. I mean, Bitcoin is right on the verge of all-time highs. You've got altcoins that, meme coins have really kind of ruled the day over the last week and a half. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse too much. I've talked about it before on this show, and I've talked about it on Twitter. Memes really seem to be more or less the theme of this cycle, right? I mean, 2023 over the summer, we kind of had a taste of it. We had GambleFi, we had Pepe, we had a few different things that kind of showed us where the market and really where that residual demand from crypto native participants was likely going to gravitate towards. And this, the last like 2 or 3 weeks in particular, it's definitive, right? Definitive. You look at WIF, you look at Doge, you look at Pepe. Every meme coin in existence in crypto pretty much pumped over the last week and a half. And I failed to name probably at least like 4 or 5 that I probably should have given the pumps that they had. But yeah, no, I mean, it's cool. It's almost like this veil has been lifted for crypto market participants that, they don't really care what they speculate on as far as the label or the title. It can be labeled fancy. It can be labeled, the future of finance, or it can be labeled a meme coin. But if the number goes up and it has some of these psychological factors that could potentially influence their buys, I'm talking about these meme coins that have low unit cost bias, for example, then number go up. And as we saw, Bitcoin is approaching all-time highs. The very first altcoins that people bid on this rotation, they were all meme coins. But with that said, I do want to walk through some charts of some other altcoins on the show today, because I was looking at a few different sectors, and DeFi in particular, that on a higher time frame, I mean, they look fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And that kind of kickstarted with the Uniswap fee switch last week. That chart has more or less been in a vertical accumulation since that happened. And you look at a lot of the other DeFi dinos, they're kind of in the same camp. So I definitely want to walk through that as well. So even though meme coins are ruling the day right now, I do think we're potentially at a spot where we could see a full wave of shift towards all risk within crypto, which is something that we've been talking about as well, right? With Total 2, Total 3. But yeah, crypto is exciting right now. Equities, we hit all-time highs, and we're consolidating above all-time highs, probably to go higher at this point. We have flows returning early March finally. The window of weakness, quote unquote, is officially over for the month of February into March. So we'll see if equity people have FOMO. If I don't think that Bitcoin pumping necessarily will induce FOMO on the S&P and big tech, because they've already pumped a lot, but maybe it does, who knows? I just think overall the entire environment for the markets feels very conducive to risk taking. And, you know, that has also manifested in all-time highs in open interest for altcoins and Bitcoin. I actually, maybe not quite Bitcoin, but for altcoins, absolutely. I don't think altcoins have ever had this high of a share of open interest than they do right now. So maybe that's something to watch out for here locally speaking. But as far as the high time frame trend, guys, I mean, it does seem like momentum is getting ready to accelerate. Like these parabolas are beginning to advance. You know, and even if we get these dips, I have to assume they're going to be bought up very quickly and be bull market flushes at the end of the day. But welcome, guys. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Jackus, Will, talk to me. What are we seeing in the markets?
I mean, you can go, Jackus, if you want.
No, it's good. You can go. I just wanted to say hello, guys. Had a great weekend. Chilled with my girlfriend. You guys saw the T-shirt that I received, which was very pleasant. And yeah, anyways, well, you can cook. People are hungry.
All right. Let's feed them. So 221x, couple days, casual 221. Could you pull up the Soul chart there, Tommy? Kind of show them what that looked like.
That might be a little. What's the market cap on that? Am I able to do that now? Actually, it probably pumped enough that
It's on Dex. Right. It's on Dex.
I think I can do that. Let's yeah.
Like you got people still screaming the same dog coins that have been running the entire time. It's like, okay, well, congratulations. I believe our Discord hit a banger on a couple dog coins that haven't even run yet. Man,
yeah, we'll hit chat from like right here, right?
0.02, bro. 0.02.
And of course, Will also nailed this one, man, which is reflective of the environment. You know, at the end of the day, and I always, you know, I had a comment that I made over the weekend, Will, about how there's going to be a cat coin that goes to $1 billion market cap at some point. You know,
this is the cat.
I don't know if I think that MOG is a cat coin, man. I've never viewed it as like a cat coin, but I guess we'll see, man. I guess we'll see. Either way, guys, like I said, I mean, Bitcoin is 67K. We're going to break all-time highs today.
The FOMO is there for sure. It does feel like.
The thing is like if we were to pull up the disbelief or the Wall Street cheat sheet there, Tommy, I would argue we're probably still in that disbelief stage. We are still like there are people still talking about this pullback that's coming, this retrace that's coming before the halving or after it, and yeah, we'll probably get that, but it could happen from much higher than what a lot of people are thinking. I mean, what do you think people would think, Tommy? Let's just entertain a thought here. If Bitcoin just pretty much over the next 3 to 6 months just went straight up to 80K and never retraced once, and then came back down to 70, and their targets were 40 from here.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this. Like, you look at the parabola and the way that this is playing out, right? Like, we have a dip here. We've got decent dips along the way. But at the end of the day, there's no break of structure, and it's slowly gaining parabola in the exact same fashion that, this structure and parabola played out. So for me, I continue to think that this cycle is playing out a lot like the Bitcoin cycle of 2017, of 2018. And maybe we'd likely see some sort of altcoin rotation that plays out similarly in that regard.
I think that whole thesis that I just threw out there would completely catch the entire market off sides. And not only would it catch it off sides, it would force people into such high beta, which I'm positioned in, by the way, that it's going to make this beta scream. And you can make potentially millions of dollars easily if you're just front running the move. From very little capital. Because keep in mind, though, Tommy, too, we did have one of our Chads. They put in, I believe, $220 on the Soul Chat play, and they pulled $20,000 literally the other day.
It's unbelievable, and it's reflective of the conditions, honestly. I mean, I can't even fathom how crazy this cycle is going to be when you have the assets moving as aggressive, like which assets are moving as aggressively as they are before Bitcoin even breaks all-time high. It's kind of difficult to even be able to comprehend exactly the type of froth that we're going to eventually see in this cycle. I think a lot of people, and myself included, we're gonna have to completely recalibrate our brains as far as our expectations here for the next few weeks and the next few months. If this is going to be, just a taste of what's to come, right? But I will say, altcoin open interest being at all-time highs and at its highest share against Bitcoin and ETH is maybe a little bit concerning, but it's more concerning for alts than it is Bitcoin. And when I look at Bitcoin's bid and ETH to a lesser extent, I'm sure ETH will catch the same sort, maybe not like the same volume as Bitcoin, but relative to market cap, probably at least, maybe even more as Bitcoin. We're seeing flows come in really strongly on Bitcoin and ETH, especially Bitcoin. So, open interest be damned. There is a huge bid underlying Bitcoin that even if we do get some sort of wipe, I really think it's just a bull market flush, right? Taking out altcoin open interest from the market, removing people from levered positions. And like you said, Will, it could come from higher. It definitely could come from higher. Bitcoin definitely feels like the strongest asset in the market right now, which is the most bullish is the single most bullish thing that could be, leading this market at the moment.
Yeah, I would say just one more quick point. And that would be that I think the part that everybody's missing, or the potential that everybody's missing, is that there is a potential in this market specifically, especially the way it's bidding, for Bitcoin and alts to rise at the same time. Now, granted, that would that would not be healthy, right? It would not be healthy at all, because it means froth is rising with actual liquidity. And the reasoning for that, or the reasoning for the possibility of that, is because of all the people that have sat sidelined. And I think there's much more this cycle than there were all previous cycles that sat sidelined waiting for this retrace before the halving or retrace after the halving. And this could force these people into such high beta that as Bitcoin bids, you could see the alts continue to push with it.
I honestly think that could be what we see, and it makes it makes increasingly more sense when I look at a lot of these high time frame setups on, let's look at Soul Adjacents, and I'm gonna save that for that's for Giga Chads only, unfortunately. So market check enjoyers will have to just look at this beautiful accumulation chart by Jito. I mean, there are so many charts that look like this, man, and we can look at things like DeFi
Don't
as
cheat
well.
your Jito.
That's actually a bull case for it, man. I think that narrative is going to be flipped for Jito specifically, and it's going to be used to pump the price by CT influencers. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these DeFi tokens too. I mean, they look like they want to start moving up on a higher time frame. They look a lot like Total 2 and Total 3, like we've talked about. So what are you thinking here, Jackus, with the correlation between Bitcoin and altcoins as Bitcoin chads into the all-time high?
Yeah, obviously, BTC is stealing the show right now as far as altcoin goes. We were kind of discussing that in the call just recently. It will be interesting to what happens when BTC hits all-time high, which I do hope happens during this stream, although it might be right after it, so we'll see. But I think it will be interesting to see how it reacts. As long as, and let's face it, BTC is right now going parabolic right now. So I think, saying like it has to stop at some point, it will, but the question is from where, right? And it can, as well as saying, it can happen from much higher, and we can easily just as blast through all-time highs here, and BTC can steal, like it can produce basically a capitulation on alts, And you'll have all the maxis coming in and saying like, "Hey, your altcoin season is never happening," and sell all your alts and go all in on Bitcoin, as we see during any final mania phase, which I think we are seeing right now, just like we've seen in. And during the past 2 years, we've experienced it on so many markets, whether it was DXY and whether it was bonds, or the yields or anything. And at the end, the people just go absolutely mental. They become engagement horse, and they'll start, when yields were at 5.5, they'll start telling you that yields are going to 10%, and and the XY's milkshake theory, and it's going to, I don't know, 120, 130, and stuff like that. So it's hard to go against that sentiment because it's coming from everywhere, and anyone that says otherwise is just labeled as an idiot or whatever, right? That's particular why bottoms and tops are hard. So, but yeah, listen, the market, as I keep on saying, and I will keep on saying that, and I was saying that, months and months ago, year ago, that you remain bullish as long as the market is telling you. And BTC can easily, just like we've seen Facebook and Nvidia break through their all-time highs, never revisit, and keep chatting higher. It can easily happen to BTC as well. It can break the all-time highs here. I still think it's good take to take partial profits on BTC, especially after this move. Whether that's into alts, whether that's into fiat, whether you are just hedging your position here, that's completely up to everyone. I think it's healthy after this move. We gotta be reasonable, rational, but it can easily just, obviously we do not get gaps as we do in stocks. But if we were, I'm telling you that BTC could easily stop here, and then we would open, in the next period, and it could be opening at 73 and never coming back to fill this gap, just like we've seen on Nvidia and Facebook. So that's something that people need to be prepared for. That maybe we form area accumulation between like 72 to 80, or maybe something like that's possible too. Again, personally, I think this is a good place to be taking partial profits. I think it's a good place where we could, as I've been writing this thread, where we could even pause for March. I think there's a good case for it because, we gotta understand that we never in history of BTC had, we had once 7 bullish monthly candles in a row. But that happened when the first two were like super tiny bullish. They could have been easily bearish. And so the probability for pulse is super increasing, right? So that's something that people just need to keep in mind and try to stay as rational as possible and not just go full emotional, which is, I understand it, it's hard, but yeah. Anyways, that's kind of my take.
Jackus, what's your take on meme coins popping off in the way that they have? I'm curious because we have, I'm not going to ask you to pick the winner, right? Because we have a million of them right now that are really all kind of running. I think Pepe and Whiff are probably the ones that have pumped the hardest. Doge will eventually have it shine. Bonk and Shib have run also here over the last few days. How do you view this broader trend as far as meme coins go, especially as aggressively as they're trending, like I said before, Bitcoin even reaches all-time highs?
I'm not sure, to be honest, with the meme coins pumping like this. It probably shows that maybe just the market is saying like there's Bitcoin and everything else is shitcoin, and I'm just speculating on memes right now. At the end of the day, it's market makers play, which they decide that it's time to pump the meme coins right now for some reason. No idea, to be honest. As usual, it's best to diversify, and you never know which sector is going to get pumped first. People always try to play smart as is and say, hey, GameFi is pumping this, but let's be honest. So many people told us, for example, the RW Ace, right? Hope I'm pronouncing that right. RW Ace will be pumping, and what happened? They have not, and it could have easily happened. GameFi. Where's GameFi, right? So they are good sectors. They make sense. There are good tokens in those sectors, but we do not know why meme coins are pumping right now. Because they could have easily been postponed for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Who knows before they get pumped? Uh, this is something that everyone should be aware of, in my opinion.
It's interesting because we have meme coins running in the way that they are, and I don't want to harp on them too much, but there really has been where there's been so much opportunity in altcoins. But I look at across the board, and we've been talking about Total 2 and Total 3 for quite a while at this point, how it looks ready to accelerate. And I think a lot of these altcoin higher time frame charts validate that thinking, right? I mean, just look at some of these DeFi charts, man. They look phenomenal on a higher time frame. To me, a lot of these charts look like they're beginning less so curve because it's curve, and it'll probably pump a lot less than other DeFi. But I guess it's up 13% today, ironically, as I say that. But I think a lot of these DeFi tokens and ETH beta are beginning to look good, which is probably not a surprise, right? We saw kind of on the fringes of ETH on chain. And I talked about this last week, GambleFi tokens that really ran last summer, Miladies, DMT, Ox, well, less so Ox, but kind of Ox, Rollbit. I'm missing a few, right? But the stuff that pumped on ETH last summer is beginning to look good again. And not coincidentally, you're beginning to have other ETH stuff, I think, also look good. So while I think Bitcoin dominance looks bullish to me, it looks like it's set to climb, I'm a lot less certain on ETH Bitcoin. I think it can continue, and Tucker and I were talking about this over the weekend. I think that ETH Bitcoin can actually continue to range for probably a few more weeks, a few more months before it actually makes a high time frame decision. But I don't know how much it matters with how bullish a lot of these high time frame altcoin setups are. I think it really is probably going to be one of those cases like Will said, where you have everything kind of running in unison, which we have not seen since the beginning of 2021.
I can give a few catch-up plays, but I mean, ultimately, I'd like the panel to kind of decide on that. If I give those out, or should we shoot for like a criteria on likes, or what do you guys think? I mean, legit plays.
Let me see how many likes we got, Will. Let's do. All right. We're at 50 likes right now, guys. If we get to 100
high,
likes,
Tommy, make it
100?
high.
100 good or 100?
How many people do we have viewing?
We've got 162 viewers right now between Twitter and YouTube combined.
Jack, you said it because you're better at this.
Let's do 120.
Jack,
Let's do 120. 120 is good. That's a good number. I think Jackus might be having some technical difficulties, but let's shoot for 120 likes on this stream, guys. If we can get that, then Will's going to give you some catch-up plays. And I've got a few of them too, quite frankly, because like I said, I think a lot of ETH DeFi looks phenomenal.
You can't give them all this show. One apiece.
Oh, I know.
I got a few. We'll give one apiece.
It's fun because we have almost like this roadmap that the first movers of the cycle gave us. And I think, you can kind of lean on like 2 or 3 structures that are playing out consistently. I think of like, we had like the INJ, RNDR, STX basket, where they all kind of printed a similar pattern. And then you can kind of see other alts mimicking what they did. And then you can see Solana printing its own pattern. I can see Solana patterns printing all over risk assets right now. That's the reason. That's a big reason why I was so bullish on Coin, a big reason why I'm so bullish on Hood. And we'll talk more about Hood in a second, of course. But yeah, and I just think in general, you have like these 2 or 3 blueprints that we're seeing from altcoins on a higher time frame as we break out of these accumulation patterns that I'm expecting other altcoins to just replicate, because why wouldn't they, right? It's just a matter of when they're going to catch that rotation.
All right. I wasn't sure. I couldn't talk before for some reason. Norok saying, I'm currently kicking myself for not taking profits at TIA 20. You are probably not. I'm not sure if you are part of the BB Discord, but I was talking about taking profits on TIA there heavily. And I still do think, Tommy, what you talked about with ETHBTC, I still stand by it. Alts will not be running in general. Obviously, we'll have some to do, but alts will not be running in general until ETHBTC is running. And to be honest, it's holding pretty strong ETHBTC here. And if ETHBTC goes, and I cannot rule it out, of course, I do not think so, but let's say that ETHBTC will be going sideways for the next 3 months, alts would do the same, if not bleed lower. And we will have a coin that gets pumped by the market makers. We are talking about the general market. It will not be running. We can see that, if I pull out my shitcoins versus BTC list, everything's bleeding, everything right now. And to be honest, some are like, if you open up the H1 on some of these alts, on the BTC pair, and man, they are the most oversold. Like they are so fucking oversold. So, and I know that that doesn't have to say anything, and it can continue bleeding. But given the fact that ETHBTC is, I would say is holding well, considering especially that BTC is about to hit all-time highs, and I still think that this rotation is coming in here. And it's needed for the alts. I just cannot fathom a scenario, and never have we seen this, where ETH-BTC doesn't run and alts run. And we have not seen it yet. We have seen alts popping, that's true, but we had that every cycle where there has been a few coins that have been popping. And obviously, micro caps, but it's not like OGs on Twitter have, or OGs, these people that get paid to promote that they've been getting these deals to promote certain altcoins on Twitter. It's easy for them to pop these, but I'm talking about the general market, and there is just so many coins that has not done anything so far. That's just hard truth. And I'm sure there is, in our audience, there's so many people that are sitting in many of these alts that just hasn't done really much, to be honest. And
well, here's the thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to cut you off. I thought you were done.
Yeah, basically, I just wanted to end that until ETHBTC runs, I do not think that these alts really do much.
We do have a comment from somebody in the chat that I feel like we should probably address, which is that, oh, not that one, this one. Money will not flow out of traditional ETFs into altcoins. Come on, which is true, right? Like money won't necessarily flow out of the ETF.
Nobody is saying that.
Speculate on altcoins, but it's a process. It's cyclical, right? You don't necessarily just see everybody flock into crypto at the same time. We're kind of seeing, and we saw the same effect last cycle when Doge ran in Q3, Q4 of 2020. It was kind of like a palate wetter for what was to come over the next few months, which was ultimately a speculative frenzy. And I want to go over to one chart, which I think is somewhat reflective of where we're headed. And it's Hood. It's Robinhood. Look at this chart. Oh gosh, look at this chart, man. I mean, like, look at this chart and tell me where retail is right now. To me, this breaking out is a sign rather than an ending, right? Like this chart is just getting started. And I compare this chart to Coin, much less supply than Coin had on the way up. So like we cleared this zone. Why can't Hood just fly? Why can't retail come back rapidly in the same way where, if Hood were to break out in Solana-like fashion, you see retail return in a similar way. And that's kind of the process of cyclicality at the end of the day. Yes, the money's not going to flow out of ETF products. It's more about you're whetting the risk appetite. And as more and more things start to pump, people are eventually going to look to move further down the risk curve. With the, I mean, crypto natives have already done it. You can see it. I mean, they immediately start aping meme coins because they know that's the beta. But I will say, you know, the not everything has to pump at the same time, though. You know, the conditions don't have to be the exact same as the spring of 2021 because,
Tommy,
you know, I'll let you cook,
go ahead.
Will. I'll let you cook.
Go ahead.
No, I don't have it. Go for it. I'll let you cook.
No, I
You
just
probably
wanted
did.
to add that I have the rotation. Like I have the next rotation. I promise I have the next rotation. So if we can get to like, 150 likes, I think that's Jackass's quota. Then I can give you the next play. Right? Like I 100% think, and we'll pull it up live. I'll show you guys like on the chart, like why it's gonna be the next play. And I get the point of altcoins. Like some altcoins definitely ran, right? Like why would you bid some altcoins? It makes absolutely no sense. But other ones look like they're just starting to perk up. They're starting to come back to life. And we saw a few examples on a few calls we had in the GigaChat chat that I made that are already starting to produce. They're already up over 100% since yesterday's call. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that moving forward. So if we can get to that, like, I'll show you the next play, but it's an easy one. It's an easy one. I think just nobody's looking, right?
We're
By
90
the way,
likes right now, guys. We need about 30 more to get there. So we're doing well.
wait, Will said 150, didn't he?
I said 120. We can. I told him
We
120,
meet in
so
the
I don't
middle.
want to
Is
rush
that
him
what's
and
going on?
raise it to 150.
I don't know. It depends what Will is demanding. It's his alpha, so he's setting the bar.
Guys, look, I know a lot of people want to fade Will's outlook. I literally just hit a 221x in the Discord the other day. Like, I'm telling you, the next play is going to play. We just hit one last night. Called it last night. It's already up over 100%. Still chatting. Like, I have the next play. I promise. It's like not just bullshit like a lot of people on YouTube will tell you. It's legit.
Hey, speaking of, when he's spoken about Robinhood, Tommy, I think there could be a great play on Coinbase to be on coin, like the Coinbase ticker,
Take a look.
because look at all the inflows that's coming into crypto right now, and they will be having their earnings soon, right? I I think it's time to front around those earnings because they will be absolutely massive.
When
I
are the
think
earnings?
On Coinbase, the earnings on Coinbase.
When? My bad.
I'll go back on the chart. You see them on the bottom, the E letter.
Yeah. I always forget that boomer markets have that feature available on TradingView.
Yeah. So if you look, they will have earnings that are kind of far away now, but I can tell you that the market will be looking to front run them because the way that crypto is currently pumping, they will be making huge amounts on the exchanges. Sorry, on the fees, right? And given that they launched April 21 and the market has been going down, liquidity has been drying up, right? Right now they will have the probably best earnings they ever had, and that could send the stock absolutely, higher. So
Higher.
I think that's a good play there, right there.
I do too. I mean, look, this chart looks a lot like a lot of other altcoins, and we talk about certain altcoins kind of giving the blueprint. I mean, Sol is trading almost to this swing high on a higher time frame. Coin is down here. Talk about a repricing. That's quite the repricing that's potentially on the cards. So I think playing coin is probably about picking the time frame, right?
Yeah. By the way, Nick was asking, does the silver tier membership include the calls with you guys? And that's a no. You want to choose for the golden one if you want the calls and you really want to choose the golden one, trust me. And you can use, by the way, the links in our bios. Whoever you like the most and want to support, we have the link in our bios on Twitter. So be sure to use that and choose the gold one. Really, the reward with the BB terminal coming along will be absolutely massive. By the way, guys, we do appreciate everyone that's turning here every single day during the week. You know, I've seen Jordi lately coming here every single day as well as, you know, seeing Goose, familiar faces right there. So lots of great guys. We do a Booty Bandit, you know, and everyone. So we do appreciate you showing up. And by the way, guys, if you want to be sure that your question doesn't pass by and is seen, you can use the GigaChat function, you know, with the donation on YouTube, and highlight your question that way. As we are getting more viewers, sometimes, you know, when we start cooking, the questions can get passed by. So just mentioning that. Anyways, back to you, Tommy and Will.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think, I mean, like you said, Jack, his coin looks phenomenal. And I would also say, I saw we had a question from, let me see. I saw we had a question asking about Doge. Will Doge run without ETH popping off? I think Doge is kind of its own thing. It might not hit like what's the peak velocity until ETH is pumping and ETH Bitcoin is also pumping. But I think Doge can do just fine, right? You have a lot of assets that are on different parts of their cycle, and to me, this looks like you know, it's slowly waking up, right? Doge's best times of the cycle have not yet happened. It's just a matter of I think it's maybe a bit of a longer hold, but it will happen. And I think it's like I said last week, Doge is going to trade in a similar basket to Hood at the end of the day. And I tweeted this today. I actually think that you can access leverage longs on Doge without having to pay funding. I mean, you'd have to pay theta decay, but Hood options that are out of the money are probably, I would argue, for me personally, probably a safer way to play Doge longs because they're going to trade correlated. Like when people come to Robinhood, retail comes to Robinhood, what does retail think of when they buy crypto on Robinhood? They think of Doge. So I think it's a basket, and those are probably going to be two assets that trade fairly similarly. So, you know, Doge is a retail coin. I don't know that it needs ETH to run, but of course, ETH running and outperforming will obviously be a signal of the type of risk taking that the market is taking.
By the way, Tommy, I have the eternal question for you. Well, and it's not about the likes, guys, but will Doge hit $1 this cycle?
I saw a great tweet about this earlier this morning, actually, Jackus. $1 was the target for last cycle, not this cycle. All right. And somebody, I think it was Wabi, was talking to us about it this weekend. He's like, yeah, I mean, there's probably going to be an altcoin that does what ETH did last cycle, where it went to 250 to 350 billion in market cap. What altcoin do you think can do it other than Doge at the end of the day? Maybe Ripple, maybe. If the ETF decision goes well, but I look at other altcoins, I guess Solana could do it too, but most likely meme coin to hit 9-figure, or no, yeah, like a $1 trillion, no, not $1 trillion market cap, but 100 billion market cap. It's going to be Doge. And the last cycle target was $1, so it's probably going to overshoot that.
You know what's crazy, Tommy? We're probably going to see almost every blue chip meme coin be over billions of dollars in market cap.
It's really a new paradigm, man. It's kind of, somebody compared it over the weekend to the ICO period of 2017 and 2018, which is fitting, honestly. When you look at the way Bitcoin's traded since the low, we haven't really given any dips. It's been that just kind of slow build into a parabola before you hit peak velocity. And we are about to hit peak velocity on Bitcoin, but you have a lot of altcoins that are beginning to wake up right now too. It's exciting.
I mean, I have some real picks this cycle, man, Tommy, that I think, I think Soul Chat's just the beginning. Is literally just the beginning.
We got 108 likes on the video right now, guys. We are 12 likes away from hitting 120, and for Will's Outlook to start cooking and sharing that big juicy alpha for you guys, especially, if you maybe you feel a little bit sidelined or underexposed. Who knows? I mean, Bitcoin's been pumping and a lot of altcoins have been kind of sitting there. So there are going to be a lot of altcoins that eventually catch up to Bitcoin, and Dr. Outlook's got a few of them for you on deck. So make sure to hit that like button so we can get that alpha.
They're not bottom of dumpsters either. Like they're not shit coins. They're actually utility coins. So just so you guys know, there's a little bit of safety factor to these. But I think we're gonna hit some shit. Like we're really gonna hit some stuff.
There's never been a dumpster diving chart that Will's Outlook didn't love, man. I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate the dedication to digging through shit coins like Will. Few do it better. I will say that. Very few do it better than Will.
It takes a certain critique to be able to do it safely and get people into positions that aren't going to rug them. And it takes dedication to hold the position until the pop happens. And it's almost like you're there counseling people through their coping of the downside and the upside while it's chopping. And then the very next week or maybe month, they're like, you're the best person in the entire world. But it's like, you told me that 20 times now. I've had to counsel you through 20 different tokens. Just trust the process. Just trust the process.
I'm sure.
No shade, of course, to anybody. It's just, it's we have to feel comfortable. You have to feel comfortable in a liquid market. You can't feel uncomfortable in a liquid market.
We got exciting times.
I think that's the one thing people are missing in this market is they're missing the comfortability. Again, it's still a slide or a kind of a slight bit of PTSD still kind of going on in the market, right? It's things that pump so hard, blah blah blah. I mean, I don't say blah. I get the reasonality for it. It reasonably, right? In a rational market, the things that are being said make sense. But like, this is not a rational market. It's an irrational market. We see that just by meme coins being the first thing that popped off, right? And so I think like there's so much beta to be bid across the board. Like, you should not be chasing anything. You can front run everything right now if you're just smart about it.
Well, that's true in crypto and equities. And I'm sure one of your plays is probably similar to what we've kind of been talking about for equities specifically. I mean, there are a few large caps right now that are curling up in a way where, like I remember hearing a few weeks ago, like, oh, I'm expecting this massive tech stock to break down from its distribution range. And, that might already be a bit of a hint to give it away. But, the fundamentals are bad. It's a fundamental repricing, but it's like you said, Will, as we go higher, we are hitting more irrational levels as far as participant behavior. So you can't really be why are you still pricing, or why are you trying to price things off fundamentals while you watch meme coins pop off left and right? I don't know. I don't know. Either way though, we need 5 more likes, guys.
Yeah, I think getting into fundamentals is almost too deep at this point. It's more about, where do I think liquidity will flow and where are the charts kind of matching my thesis? That's the thing, right? Like I was basically following charts and where liquidity was flowing versus like trying to be like, oh, this is DeSci, it's decentralized science. This is RWA's depends and it does this. That's FA, right? FA is not going to tell you when liquidity will flow. It's just telling you, hey, here's a sector. That's all it's telling you. Nothing else. Like, you have to see the money flow. You have to see the chart. You have to see things popping off to know that it's going to pop off. And I think like people don't understand that. A lot of people in this market, especially people new to it, they will follow FA guys. And these guys are really good at selling you a story, right? They're really good at selling you a story. And they may come in and make 20x. And they'll probably lose it all because they'll see the meme coins popping off over in the other corner. And they're like, hey, I want to go play with those kids. They're like, those kids are actually having more fun than I'm having over here. And then they go and they take their money from the other sector that they were just in, the only one they know through FA, and they start trying to play with the kids over in the corner, playing the craps, throwing the dice and making money on the ground. And what do? They go all in on the first play. And what happens to their money? Well, they don't even know how to play craps. So guess what? They lose it all, and then they lose their entire stack, and now they're starting over again at the top of a bull run. This is the problem with it with FA specifically, right? Fundamental analysis is fundamental analysis will get you into a sector, but then you'll see the kids over in the other corner of the playground having more fun than you're having, and you want to go have fun with them, and then you lose your whole stack that you just made because you were FA the entire time. This is why TA rules over FA when it comes to volume and flows and being able to understand where liquidity is going.
I think the best way to describe what you just said, with a chart, that is with the dollar. I think it's with the dollar because we have right now, right? I mean, every time we get close to these range highs on the dollar, and I have this fractal overlaid because this is kind of my expectation for what I think the dollar will end up doing, and also why I'm bullish risk here into April, regardless of any leverage wipes that we might have along the way. Like the last time the dollar had a move down this big, it was October. It started in October. So we could be on the verge of like this huge blow off in risk if this does indeed play out. And meanwhile, it's like I said, every time we get close to these range highs, everybody who's bearish wants to start claiming, look how bullish the dollar is. Don't ignore the macro fundamentals. But if you're trading the technicals on the chart, you would have, you nailed this move and you're probably about to nail this move right here as well. And they're probably they're probably still calling the dollar bullish as we speak. So I'm not bullish on the dollar. I've been pretty out loud about the fact that I have not been bullish on the dollar, despite the fact that I know, it's grinding up towards resistance. Sure. But it looks to me like it's in a higher time frame downtrend at this point from the 2021 high. And I think we can all agree on that at least at this point as a panel.
Yeah,
Seems like we are at 120 likes, guys.
Ooh. Will, you ready to cook?
Are we at 120 on the dot, or did we overshoot?
Let me see. Will's getting greedy for those likes, man. It's like greedy jackass.
Bro, I've been hitting bangers. People got to give me respect, man. They got to give me respect. They can hate me or love me, but I've been giving bangers.
Will, do you want to share your screen?
I'm not able to get to my screen right now, but it's an easy one. You can pull it up. It's on Dex, or on not Dex, but on TradingView. What are we at though, likes wise?
We're at 123.
All right, cool. So pull up, and this isn't me, guys. Like, oh, I found this. It's actually somebody who came to one of my background noise. They usually use what you call it? I do these little things with some of my OG followers, basically. Hold on one second. I did this little thing with some of my OG followers.
Will, did we lose you?
Am I still good?
You just cut out for a second.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got. Sorry, I had to pop out the Wi-Fi. So I was kind of concerned it was going to drop me. I do this little thing with some of my OG followers, basically, right? Like we kind of meet and greet and talk, and they just done me some charts. We just look at them. So it was actually brought up by one of them. But looking at the chart myself, and I gave them this thought too. So some really good rotations. I would say pull up Mana real quick, Tommy. This is one of them. So these aren't shit coins, guys.
Fractal on this one.
Let me see here. Is that not Manta, Mana.
Oh, you're talking Metaverse.
Yes.
I gotcha.
Yes.
I've been looking at some Metaverse tokens.
Yes.
Myself,
do a fib, low to high. And I mean all-time high. Throw it on a weekly higher time frame. Do a fib, low to high. Throw log on too, if you could.
Oh, don't make me do that.
Yeah.
Don't make me do that.
Now just throw a fib, low to high. It's actually more moderate this way. It's less moon boyish.
What are you looking for, Will?
So go to all-time high. All-time high.
I did.
Oh, you are? Okay. Where's your 1618?
945.
Okay, go ahead and do a percentage from where we are, top of where we are to there. What's that say?
So 13x. Some might say the easiest 13x in crypto.
Guys, like this is honestly a killer trade. You went to all-time low to all-time high? Yeah, okay. Yeah. This is a killer freaking trade right here if you're looking for safety, right? This is an easy way to balance your portfolio, and I think this thing runs. Now let's do one more. I'll give them one more since they overshot 120. That's why I asked. Let's do sand.
I definitely think we're probably about to see a broader rotation into gaming. I think that makes sense at this point.
Now go ahead and do the same thing for sand. High to low, and then drop the percentage.
As you guys can see, I was trading this asset at the top of the last bull run. Don't worry though, I shorted the top of sand. I didn't long the top.
And not only do you have the high to low, you actually have the double bottom on RSI with the lower low on the chart, which means you're probably running into a bull div here. What's the percentage run here?
That looks good.
What's our upside potential?
To the 161?
Yep.
18x.
There you go, guys. I know this is not a 200x, and that's probably what you were looking for, but I'm trying to provide our audience here for a little more safer plays. The DGen stuff's in the Discord. I can't be really kind of putting that out there. If I put that out there for everybody and somebody gets wrecked one time, they're going to be pretty mad because they don't know how to get in and get out. That's always the problem with the DGen plays. You have to literally direct people like, hey, this is what I would do. So you do what you want, but I can't do that here live on the stream. So giving you guys ultra risky plays is a little difficult.
I can't tell if this is going to pump really hard or if it's the biggest scam ever. This is a Metaverse coin.
Which was that?
Big time.
Oh, I think big time will run.
I do too. I can't tell if I think it's going to do an Axes type of run or if it's just going to be kind of a disappointing token this bull.
Also, why don't you pull up one I want you to pull up when you get a chance is Nakamoto Games. Remember that one, Tommy? I don't want to bring.
I do remember that. I'm sure is that like $5? Is it at like $5 now? Please don't tell me it's at like $5.
Pull it up.
No. Why didn't it pull up? Oh, it did. Man. If you guys were watching Market Check back in, I think it was here. Like I remember Will talking about this coin, and honestly, Log doesn't even do this justice, man. Like it's up way more than that. It looks great. Gaming stuff looks good across the board. I had to turn Log off, Will, though. I couldn't leave it on for longer than that.
It's fine. It's fine. You still know
what do
how
you think
much
about
that
Gala?
is.
What do you think about Gala? Because the weekly accumulation range on this thing looks absolutely insane. Just the valuation on it is kind of higher than other Metaverse tokens. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this breaks out. It's going all-time high. Jeez.
Oh, my bad. I was muted. I was sitting there yelling. Yeah.
Look at that weekly RSI, Will.
Yeah, there's literally one resistance in the middle. That's it. Everything else is just straight shot to all-time high. You'll stop at your 50, you'll hesitate, and then you'll just shoot straight up from there. Like, I think people are underestimating this market, Tommy. I think they're very much underestimating the potential. Like, this market's already starting to peak. Like, look at Gala. It's on the floor. Where is liquidity going to flow? It's going to flow to wherever money has not moved yet. They're going to try and front run all of you on everything.
Well, it's been a market where, you know, it's almost like it's been designed to, even more than usual, it feels like, to kind of distract you with the new shiny object. It does kind of seem like we've had, you know, we had Sol in Q4, and obviously Sol on Chain, which just sucked in so much attention. And now we're having memes, and people are going to be caught buying memes that probably run for another 2 or 3 weeks, with the exception of, I think, 1 or 2 outperformers, of course, that will probably run for more than that. And then you're going to see probably a rotation into other things. And I think people are maybe too caught up in looking at just the memes and forgetting that we have all of these charts with, I mean, like, these are exceptional high time frame setups on a lot of these assets, guys. Maybe not Axes, but definitely something like Gala, Mana, Sand, ETH DeFi. I mean, the list goes on. When these things pump, they're going to run really hard. It's just a matter of being allocated to them when they do.
What was the biggest gaming play? I forget what it's called, man. I forget the name of it. I was
It
talking
was
about it.
Axes.
No, not Axes. Yeah, Axes was the biggest, but I'm saying like the second one. I forget what it's called. It was $40 a token on the floor, and I was telling people to buy.
Are you sure it wasn't Gala? Oh wait, no, Gala.
No, $40 on the floor. $40 on the floor. We've talked about it before.
Gonna make me go to CoinGecko. It's a bull market when you're collecting your CoinGecko candies. That's alpha right there.
Bro, I've been doing both CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. The diamonds over there.
Somebody said DeFi Kingdoms. Oh man. Oh man.
Somebody brought up CGG the other day, but I didn't think it looked too good, man. I'm not gonna lie, I think it was crushed. And I'm one who loves dumpsters.
I'm not sure the token you're talking. Is it Alluvium that you're talking about, Will?
Yeah, Alluvium. Yes. Look at Alluvium, bro. I told people to buy at 40. Look at this shit.
Man. These things look like SPACs almost.
Bro, it's going to run. They have this little, like, I don't know, this little system they're making on the other side, which is gaming. It's like a gamified game on a game. It's really freaking weird. But like they keep everything in their ecosystem, right? So you have to port ETH in through Immutable X, which means that you have the liquidity in their ecosystem, so you probably don't want to take it out. In which case you continue to keep buying the cards over and over and over again. And if you get a certain amount of cards, you get like to a certain status, and then you can stake if you have certain sets, and then you can make Alluvium off staking. Like it's this really gamified game stuff that they got going on over at Alluvium right now. It's pretty nuts. But I think this thing's gonna absolutely capture people as far as gaming on the game side, and draw people in. Um,
Who doesn't love a good
for this one
Ponzi?
specifically, yeah. And the other one too is what was the launch? It was Boost or something like that. The one that just launched, I forget what it's called. Burst or
Boost?
Boost or
Oh, Blast?
Blast. There we go. You hit it. Yep.
They
I'm
haven't
sorry,
launched
I'm
the
a
token
boomer.
yet. Are
No.
you bullish
So
on Blast, Will? I'll
hell
be honest.
no.
I'm
No.
I'm not bullish on Blast.
So I'll explain Blast in a nutshell. Blast in a nutshell is money laundering, and I think they're gonna get hit for that. I'm dead serious. I'm not playing. Like I'm dead serious. It's casino gambling, right? You're losing money consistently over there, if you're in there, and you're doing it with the hopes that your airdrop will be absolutely astronomical, and you're betting on something you can't even anticipate. So what you got is you got a bunch of people who probably stole money, right, within the ecosystem, are then filtering that money over there, losing it on purpose to try and get the blast airdrop, so they can use that as a way to circumvent the money that they stole, and then they're gonna basically clean the money through running it through blast, right? And I'm just telling you guys the Ponzi. Look, we can look at it however we want at the end of the day. I'm just telling you what's going on over there. So your biggest players, which are going to get the biggest portions of the pool, are essentially the ones who have probably stolen. And here's how I know this. This is irrefutable. Look, one of the guys that I follow, some of the guys that are basically hackers. I follow some guys that are basically have launched scams and stuff like that. Like I follow their wallets, and one of them is Ben.eth. That's the guy who made the deal with BitBoy. I don't know if you remember him, but he made a bunch of Ponzi's and rug people.
I
And
do remember that.
I'm watching his wallet actively push ETH in and lose it over and over and over again. And that's what I'm saying. Like people are losing on purpose to farm points to get airdrops. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No,
And
I
then money
mean,
laundering wise, you're good.
yeah, you have. It's really what it is. I looked at. I remember when I saw who seeded Blast, I was like, I'm never going on that chain ever, ever, never, ever, ever. And the other part about it too. I mean, Will, I know you're deep in the NFT weeds. The guy who runs or who created Blast, spearheaded it, whatever. Pac-Man, he spearheaded Blur too, and I watched farmers get blown out for months on Blur. So I don't know why people would lock their ETH in there for 3
No,
months.
no, Tommy, they're doing it for airdrops. They're
No,
money
I know.
laundering through these systems. That's what they're doing. But go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, we've been running for an hour. I think it's time to finally wrap up.
Yeah,
By the
we
way,
can.
Jordi, just to answer Jordi, I'm still holding Amon back there, but sold most, yes.
Gosh, I got to clean up my watch list after every market check, guys. We went through a lot of tickers today, but I'll tell you what, guys, we have even more tickers that we talk about in our Discord, as well as our entries and, exactly when we take positioning. So there's a lot more alpha available in our Discord. And I'll tell you what, we've got an amazing community too. Something that made me super proud and very happy while we were in ETH Denver was, while the team was or a lot of the team was in Denver. We had the community that we had no plans originally to run the Giga Chad calls, and we had community members that stepped up and wanted to run them so badly that we had a Giga Chad call every single day. So that was really cool. And if you guys join our Discord, that's just a taste of kind of not just what you get from us as analysts, but also what you get being a part of the community. A whole bunch of Chads that are absolutely crushing this market right now and dialed in as we are entering this period that requires you to be dialed in. There are so many opportunities that are probably going to be requiring our attention and our focus here over the next few weeks. So, come into our Discord and give it a shot if you're looking for something like that. But real quickly to touch on our programming, guys, we do have market talk. I guess Wabi might not quite be back from Denver, so we'll communicate probably through our Discord as far as market talk programming. I would say probably no space today, but there might be one. It's a little bit tough to discern. Either way, we're going to have one on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, 100% certainty. So make sure to tune in for that. 4:15, 4:30 Eastern time with King Wabi. Like I said, he does a great job hosting that show, and he had a blast in ETH Denver, man. He's got some fun stories that I'm sure he'll want to be tell in the Discord at some point here over the next few days. Also, don't forget, Market Check will return Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday every single weekday. That typical start time is around 11 a.m. Eastern time. Typically we have me, Jackus, Will, Tucker, and Max, but Max and Tucker are traveling back home from ETH Denver right now. So I know they're going to be looking forward to getting back and cooking that big juicy alpha for you guys, starting tomorrow. But that's it from us, guys. We really appreciate y'all tuning in. As always, your loyal support means the world to us. Thanks for hitting that like quota. Hopefully that alpha was easily digestible and what you guys were looking for as Bitcoin approaches potentially an all-time high here. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. That would be really cool. I'm still kind of hoping that we catch it live on Market Check one day. That would be, and we got to get it on Agger too. That would be sick. That would be really cool. But that's pretty much it from us, guys. I am looking for, okay. That is us. That is it from us, guys. Sorry, a little bit of word vomit there, but I'm going to be signing off now. We're going to be signing off. Giga Chads, I will see you this afternoon for a call full of alpha. Thanks again, guys.